Hello and welcome to Back to School Night. My name is Mr. Beatty. I teach pre-calculus and geometry, and here's what I'd like to cover tonight. I'm going to go over my philosophy, class procedures, normal day, class routines, and then finish out with my contact information. So my philosophy, and this is my same philosophy for all the classes that I teach, is that I truly want my students to understand the content. Um, I think it happens all too often where students are, filling out a worksheet, or they're memorizing things before a test, or they're doing the problems that they need to do in order to get the grade that they want to on the test, and then the next day it is completely out of there. Like they don't know what they did, and they don't know why they did it. It is truly my mission to bring in the understanding, to bring in why things are the way they are in the math class, and then also connect the things that we do. So, why did we do this first, and why did we do this second, and how are they related? So that is truly my intention on a daily basis, is to make connections for kids and to, facilitate that understanding. So that's thing one. And then thing two is to hold my kids accountable and responsible. I want them to be, held accountable for deadlines, for doing homework, um, for being responsible, for reaching out to me if they have a question on something. If they have an issue with something, I want them to reach out to me. There are so many supports built in for students, through, Schoology and grades online, and time allowed to do things in class. We have in our class, we have two teachers that can help them. Um, and we have the I&E periods where they can spend time doing work or going to see me, or another teacher for extra help. There's just so many supports built in, for these students. So I'll hold them accountable for using those supports. Um, they're there. We should use them. So that's sort of where my focus is on a daily basis, is making sure that those kids, um, are seeing the understanding behind the math, and then also, are held accountable for the things that are out in front of them. So here's what a normal day in class looks like. We'll start with a quick little homework review, whatever it was, and I'll talk a little bit about homework in a little bit. Um, but ultimately, homeworks, I do believe in, regular practice, and consistent practice. But I just don't know that it needs to be, you know, a huge volume of problems, right? So, like, I don't know if it needs to be, you know, 25 questions every night. Um, what I try to hold the standard as in this class is about 10 questions, and then those 10 questions I do offer time in class to get them done. So I've told the kids that, hopefully, if I do my job right, and if they are held accountable and responsible, and they do their job right, they should be able to finish their work in class, and they can get all of that homework credit, without ever having to take homework home. Um, will there be outliers? Will there be times we'll have to bring stuff home? Yeah. But again, the goal is to try and get stuff done at home, or excuse me, in class. Um, and then they will have long-term assignments as well. So every Friday, they'll have web-based assignments, but they know about those, and they're all for time in class to work on those as well. Okay. Um, then I'll go into the new lesson. Um, I don't. I usually like to keep my new lesson explanations to about 15 minutes, because I know that that's probably where the attention span is, especially if it's direct instruction. Won't always be direct instruction, but, um, about 15 minutes is where I think that my sweet spot is, and then we'll get to practice time. Um, I like to keep it pretty routine, pretty regimented, um, so that kids can sort of expect that, okay, I'm going to learn something here and I'm going to practice it here. I'm going to have supports. Um, that's sort of where we're at. And will it change? You know, every once in a while we'll have like a different activity to do or something like that. But ultimately, I think predictability is our friend here. Um, and then we assign homework. General class procedures. I always post my homework on Schoology. Uh, and for these guys, I told them that they could just show me the homework on the next day. They don't have to submit it. So they could just show me. I give them the credit, and we're all good. Um, I will update grades found on my Schoology page. So on Gradebook in Schoology, you'll find the most up-to-date school grades. Tests and quizzes. We won't have too many tests in this class. We have a lot of quizzes, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But we'll have a lot of very small quizzes, um, and then all of those, like combined, will make up their overall grade. Absences, if they are absent, then anything that is a blank spot in Schoology or Hack um, can be made up. So they'll know what can be made up and what can't be. If it's a 0, that means it can't be made up. And I'd really like to hold students to this year. If they missed, they get the number of days they missed to make up the materials. So if they're absent for 2 days, then I should expect the makeup material 2 class days after they come back, right? So um, hopefully that makes sense. I'd like to hold students to that. Um, I'm sure there will be exceptions, but um, that's sort of my driving force as far as makeups. Okay, so here's how we run every week, and this is the page that is probably unique to um, previous math classes or um, things like that. And you'll see in here that I like to keep everything pretty routine and predictable, but also built in here are a lot of opportunities for growth, and that's our main driver is to grow. So every Monday, we're doing math drills every Monday, math drill Monday, and we're gonna build that foundation, make it stronger. Okay, right now we are doing simple addition of negative and positive numbers, as fast as you can do them, as accurate as you can do them, and just being able to do that mental math in their head is, I think, very important. Um, when we're solving equations, like being able to check yourself, not always having to go to the calculator when you're doing a problem. Okay, I don't attach this to their grade. However, from week to week, if they are showing growth, I give them a treat. I give them something sweet, right? So I think it's just something extra that's nice. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it's just foundation building, confidence is inspiring, and we do that every Monday, every day. So I'll teach, like I said, for about 15 minutes tops, and then we'll have practice time, and then like I said, the homeworks are designed to be finished in class, and hopefully they won't have to ever take home homework if they're doing what they need to do in class. Every Friday. Now Friday's the big day in my class. Okay, Friday number 1. IXL topics are due. So if I assign IXL topics, and again, they'll have opportunities to work on this in class, but IXLs are always due on Fridays. So they can sort of chip away at them as the week progresses, but it does need to be done by Friday, okay? And IXLs, if you're not familiar, it's an online program. You get points for how many correct questions you get. Um, so the standard is that they have to get to 70 points to finish the topic. If they get to 90 points, then I'm going to give them extra credit. Every single topic that I assign, I'm going to give them extra credit for every 90 points they get to. And so it's a big motivator. It could be a big point swing if kids take advantage of it. And then we have a weekly quiz every Friday. Okay. Now it seems intimidating when kids first see this, but the quiz every Friday is just based upon what we covered in that week. So it's only based upon a week's worth of material. I like to keep them consistent, routine, and small chunks. So if we have small chunks of quizzes, I feel like they're consumable, and kids can get nice grades on them. They can inspire a little confidence, and then they can spill that over into the next week. Aside from math, my personal goals with these kids, I want to build relationships with the kids. I want to know who they are. Every day, I'll talk about myself, um, and I'll tell them about my family. I'll tell them about little adventures we've going on. I want to know the same from them. I want to build those relationships with them, because once those walls are sort of broken down, I feel like that's where they'll sort of academically let me in, um, as far as asking for help and doing those other things, which points to the second thing, which is I want them to be able to come to me when they need help. Um, a lot of the times, not all the times, but a lot of the times, it's the issue that a student has comes from you know 5 days ago, not the day that we're actually working on the thing. So um, it's like, you should ask me the question 5 days ago. We could have corrected it then until it became this massive problem now, right? So um, once I sort of feel like I can build a relationship with kids, then I feel like they would be more prone to come to me with their academic questions, and ultimately, I mean, it's a life skill too, is to speak up for yourself when you have a question. Here's all my contact information. Emails at the top. That's my preferred way for you guys to reach out to me. Then you follow by my phone number. I'm just not as quick to respond if you call me and leave me a message on my phone. That's my work phone, obviously. And then that's my website. My website, you can go to rtmsd.org website and then click on my name, and you will see my website. But it is, it is a far cry from if you were to go on my Schoology page. So go on my Schoology page. You can find everything there. Or just email me if you have any questions. And then you've got Schoology and Hack, which you can get all the information about grades. Again, Schoology is going to have the most updated, information. Okay, so that's it. Have a great night, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.